So from my first year of running my agency all the way up until this point, a couple years later, I've saw a major change in how I view hard work and success and the correlation between these two things. You see, as online business owners, entrepreneurs in general, we're constantly told, or we are told to believe, that hard work equals more success. The more hours you put in, the more effort you put in, the more you're going to make with your business. In this video today, I want to go over my personal journey of how I changed my perspective of hard work and success, and how putting in more hours, putting in more effort does not entirely mean that you're going to make more with your business or that you're going to be able to scale your business. You see, right now we're constantly, just staying busy, and we're kind of using the term staying busy as a sign of progress. Constantly taking sales calls, always prospecting, being in the trenches of client service delivery, and sometimes just staying busy for the sake of busy, because stepping back and reflecting is just lazy. Right? When you're not working, when you're just chilling, you might think that you're being lazy and that you need to be by your desk working on your business so you can basically make more money. You see, I went from constantly just doing in my first couple of years of business and kind of staying stuck whenever I put in the hard work, to when I let go, right? And I took a step back and I started reflecting more, and I was able to make a lot more money whilst doing less. So again, in this video today, right, I want to talk to you about progress and how you can achieve more whilst doing less. Now, kind of taking it back from my first year of running the agency, right, I thought that long hours and just putting in the work is what's going to get me to 10K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month with my business. Right, so I constantly put in the hours, I was constantly working. Even when I was not working, I was working inside my head. So I basically never had any free time, right? My business was my entire life, right? Even when spending time with my friends, with my partner, I just could not turn off my brain. I would constantly think about business. And whenever I wasn't working, I was thinking about work, and I was making myself feel bad that I'm not working right now. So that led to me putting in 10-hour, 11-hour, 12-hour days every single day for 7 days a week, right? And I remember when I did put in the hard work, I would just plateau, right? I would not really see a lot of progress. I would see a little bit of progress, but not as much as I thought I would see by putting in all the hard work, right? I would always check Slack, take meetings, prospecting, emailing, right? Couldn't even enjoy my time off if I had any time off. Again, just always being switched on, because I was led to believe, right, that hard work equals more success, more money, right, with the business. Now, the problem with that was the business owed me, I didn't own the business, right? There's a term called working on your business, and there's a term called working inside your business. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between the two. Now, working on your business is almost acting as an operator, right? Almost acting as a manager and just overseeing the entire process, right? And you have different moving parts within your business that do the execution, but you, as the operator, right, you just kind of look at data and then you make decisions, and then those decisions are executed by the different moving parts within your business. Compared to working inside your business, where you are basically the person that's taking the action, the executor, right? You're constantly executing, right? And you don't have time to take a step back and become the operator. So you need to be able to basically switch from working inside your business to working on your business, meaning operating your business rather than executing on your business, right? So, when I was putting in the hours, it ruled my days, right? My days was just dedicated to executing, and I was just a cog in the machine. I wasn't a business owner, I was the cog in the machine, right? The moving part that makes the business work. Without me, the business wouldn't work, right? And when your business cannot work without you, this is kind of when you might have messed up, because business should, you should build a business, right? But then you should be able to let it go and let the business work on itself whilst you kind of steer the whole ship, right? I didn't steer the business, right? I rowed, right? I was basically rowing the business. I didn't steer the ship, which led me to always being stuck. And the reason why I was stuck is I wasn't able to basically take a step back and steer the ship, right, to the direction that I want the business to go into, right? I didn't have time, or, I did have time, but I was putting it into executing on different things within my business. I never really took time off to take a step back, look at my data, reflect on the business, see where I can make improvements, see where I can fix certain problems, right? I was just always doing the tasks within my to-do list. Now, one thing you got to understand is successful people don't work more, right? They are not more successful than you because they work more, right? That is just a very common belief that people might have, is that when a person is successful, it's because they put in more hours compared to you, right? So then it leads you to being competitive, and you're like, okay, now I need to put more hours so I can be successful as well. And it just becomes, or it turns your business into like a whole rat race as well. Now, successful people don't work more, they think more, right? And that is the key term here that a lot of people forget. Think, right? When you're constantly working inside your business and you're acting as a cog in the machine and you're always executing, right? You kind of never have time to think, or you forget to think about your business, right? Because you're thinking about the task at hand, the task for, the next day, the task after you complete this task, putting out fires, checking Slack messages, talking to your clients, taking sales calls, right? So you're constantly filled up with all these different things that it clouds your judgment and you're unable to think and steer the whole ship. So what I started doing is basically whenever I start up an offer, right, or whenever I build systems for myself, for my clients, right, obviously I execute on actually building the system, but then instead of, kind of being stuck in the service delivery trenches and constantly doing client work, I try to figure out how can I make the system or the business or the system that I set up for the client run by itself without needing my input, right? This is what a system is, right? A system is a set of inputs, processes, and outputs. You cannot be part of that process, right? Whether you're setting up systems for yourself, whether you're setting up systems for your clients, you cannot be part of that process. Because what tends to happen is when you're part of that process, right, and the process needs you to get the output, once you remove yourself, the system breaks, right, or the business breaks, right? Because a business is just a set of systems under a large umbrella of one operating system. And when you're the main part of the process and you remove yourself, the system or the business breaks, right? So whenever building a business or whenever building any systems for the business, you always got to think about how can you process the inputs without it needing your inputs, right? Can you hire? Can you automate? Can you put AI into this, right? What are the different things that you can do to just remove yourself out of that system and let it run by itself? And you can just oversee the system to make sure it's working correctly, make sure all the moving parts are moving and it's not breaking, right? Now, the way to do that is to basically be able to step outside, ponder, and just ask yourself different questions about whatever it is you're currently building, right? Now, I never used to do that. I would always just be by my computer, by my desk all the time, just working. Turn up my computer, watch Netflix, go to bed, wake up, go to the gym, work. And, the days were kind of sort of the same. But then I started scheduling in times off when I would go outside on a walk. I would not take my phone, so I would leave my phone at home, right? I know a lot of you might be scared. Oh, I can't leave my phone. It has to always stay with me, but just leave your phone. Trust me. Take like a small notebook and just go outside and just ponder and think, right? And reflect on what it is that you're currently doing, right? Because when you take a step back from all the noise of your business, right, you're going to be able to see it in a more clear way. And when you see it in a more clear way, you're going to be able to start thinking, critically thinking, right? And making sort of decisions on, maybe you should hire someone, maybe you should automate this process, right? What's taking up the most of your time that could be delegated or automated, right? So you can step out of it, right? It gives you time to think and strategize, right? So it's a huge mistake when people like get sucked into the to-do list without pondering, right? Without thinking, right? I get it. It happens to me still to this day, but I still try to take an hour to just go outside for a walk, leave my phone here, and just think, right? And just take a step back, reflect on everything that I'm doing, and ask myself whether I'm going in the right direction or not with all the tasks that I'm executing on, right? So this whole like sort of shift in perspective between hard work and success, right? And being able to step back and reflect on the business and work on the business rather than work inside the business led me to basically, selling systems to businesses, right? When I sell systems to businesses, I sell them systems. I don't sell them myself, right? Because if I sell them myself and I'm part of the system, part of the process, right, it would lead me to having to work more hours to be able to get results from my clients, right? And it would just, get me back in the service delivery trenches, right? So this is why I started selling acquisition systems to businesses, right? Because I built out the system once, I've proven it countless of times, and now I just sell it, set it up once, remove myself from the process, let the system run and get results for the client, right? So when you are able to step outside the whole like sort of hustle, right? The whole like working long hours and constantly doing your tasks, like, and really think about what you should be doing that moves the business forward is when you gain clarity, right? When you start thinking about what can I do to move the business forward? What are my bottlenecks and what problems I'm having and the solutions, right, I could implement for those particular problems to move my business forward, right? You're gonna naturally make more money because you're able to now strategically approach business, right? You're using your critical thinking, right, to create strategies to solving problems and moving your business forward. But you're not going to be able to do that if you're constantly working and executing, working inside the business, right? What makes, and there's people out there that make millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month, and trust me, they don't put in 10, 12, 13-hour days, right? Because they understand the difference between, being part of the process to being the operator of the system, right? So when they build offers, when they build businesses, they don't build it in a way that it kind of circles around them, that where they are part of the process. They build it in a way where they are not part of the process, right? They are the operator, meaning they look at data, they understand the data behind their business or behind their systems, and then they're able to use that data, take it, go on a walk, ponder that data, right? And come up with solutions to whatever bottlenecks they have within their database, right? And this is why successful people or people you see out there are able to get more out of doing less. Is not because, they just sit on the couch and they just watch TV, but they still make money. It's not because of that. It's because they are able to think strategically about their data and become an operator of their business rather than work inside their business, right? Because making a lot of money it's not really about how many hours you put in, right? You're not going to make 10K, 15, 20K a month if you put in X amount of hours. There's no rule book to how many hours you have to be working to make X amount of money. It's all about basically working smarter, right? Rather than harder. You got to be able to work smarter, and the way you work smarter is, again, by taking a step back, thinking, reflecting, looking at data, right, and figuring out ways where you can remove yourself out of the process and still be able to drive the business forward. So, one thing I want you guys to take away from this video, right, is schedule out some times to just go for a walk, an hour a day. Leave your phone at home, buy a small notebook, and anytime you have ideas for solving a particular problem, just note it down in that notebook. And really try to ask yourself, right, are you an executor of your business or are you the operator of your business? And if you're an executor right now and your business really depends on you to be there, then you should see how you can change that and become the operator of the business, right? Now, I'm not saying at the start, when you first start out, you shouldn't be putting in the long hours. You should be, because, the first couple months is where you really are learning the skills needed to scale a business. But once you have all that knowledge and skills, then you should be, taking a step back, stepping outside the business, and, creating systems that run the business for you. Right, so schedule times to just walk outside, no phone, no music, just thoughts and a notepad. And another thing is avoid social media, right? Social media, especially Twitter or X, especially Instagram, TikTok, they do really well into making you think that you're not doing enough, right? Because people are constantly posting their highlights, about posting everything that they've achieved. And it makes you think, it makes you go back to the belief that you should work harder and harder and harder to be able to be in their position, right? And it makes you forget the whole working on your business, working inside your business perspective. So avoid social media as much as possible if you can, right? I really highly suggest you do it. A lot of upsides with avoiding social media, right? Barely any downsides to it, so just avoid it if you can. But yeah, if you're interested in how I sell systems to businesses, right, and how you can become a client acquisition expert and sell acquisition AI systems to companies, then check out the link below this video. Schedule a call with me. I'll build out a full roadmap of how you can start selling systems. But if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts about what I just talked about, I know it was a bit of a ramble. Let me know in the comment section down below. I really look forward to seeing what you guys think. But yeah, apart from that, I'll see you on the next video.